What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings here on Anfield Agenda after the Reds have miraculously beaten Leicester City by 2-1 without having scored a single goal ourselves. But I don't care, I'll take it. And as you can see, all of our matchday content has been brought to you by our sponsor Circl, the football sweepstakes game, where the winner is decided by events that happen live on the pitch and every moment counts. If you want to join us for future circles, scan the QR code in the top corner or use the link in the description of this video. As long as you're a UK resident aged 18 plus, you are eligible to play. And again, it's a gambling product, so begamblerwell.org is there for your social or responsible gambling tools. Right, I'm going to get straight into it because we have a lot to get through here. Big Ali. I mean, at times, the only critique I'm going to have of Alisson today is we just messed about with the ball at the back too much for my liking, and he takes one touch too many at times at the back, but it didn't cause us any issues today. He made the saves he should have made, and I don't really have much to judge him on because their goal was not his fault in any way, shape or form. It was a good finish by Dewsbury Hall, so I'm going to play safe and just give Alisson a 6 and go from there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think deservedly received the Man of the Match award from Sky today, and I certainly echo that sentiment. I thought he was everywhere. I thought defensively, at least 3 times I can think of, he made very good tackles on Harvey Barnes. And again, going forward and creatively, he is a spark for us. So I thought Trent deserved all the praise he got today. And I'm going to follow it up by giving him an 8 out of 10. Next up, Joel Matip. A difficult one to gauge for Joel because he was part of a defence that absolutely just opened itself up and welcomed Dewsbury Hall straight in for that first goal. And it's a concerning thing. Without having to worry or look to blame individuals, we have to start thinking about the unit and why are we conceding so many goals and how is it happening so early in games and why are we falling behind all the time. But other than that, look, I like Joel Matip as a centre-back. I like when he carries the ball forward. I like him aerially. But I'm going to give him a 6 today because of that stupid early goal that we conceded. And I was really frustrated by it because it just keeps happening. And we move on to this man here, Virgil van Dijk, who we want to say a thank you to for the role in the Cody Gakpo signing. But again, you know, I'm struggling to say anything different that I spoke about with Joel Matip. Virgil's the leader of this defence, and again, we've won our last 2 games since we've come back from the World Cup, but we've conceded in both of them. In fact, we haven't kept a clean sheet in the 3 games that we've played since we've come back from the World Cup, and I know Virg wasn't involved in the first one of them, but yeah, again, just not good enough for us. We need our leader to be making sure we keep clean sheets, to be making sure people are in their positions, and to be making sure that our defence isn't left that wide open or exposed as we were. So Van Dijk today will also get a 6 from me, and it won't be very often you'll hear that. Andy Robertson, good and bad from Robbo today, but first and foremost, I hope he's okay, because he did go off the pitch with a knock to be replaced by Costas late on, so I hope the news on that front is good for Robbo, who, look, this man's record speaks for itself. I'm not here to try and be negative about Robertson in any way, shape or form, but he just needs some time to just take a touch before he crosses it. Whenever a ball's bobbling in front of Robbo, I get nervous about what he's going to do when he puts his foot through it. But I thought he was alright today, in fairness, Robertson, so going to give him a 7. Jordan Henderson. How to say this respectfully? Stunk the gaff up. Horrible performance. Not good enough. Especially from a leader. Especially from our captain. And I can't sugarcoat it. He was terrible. Absolutely terrible. If he wasn't not taking challenges or taking men out of it when they were clean through one goal, or mopping up in the 6, where, let's be honest, I know it's Fabinho's position, but he's played there more than enough. He was giving balls away with short passes, and he wasn't looking to be very proactive in possession. And that's not something I label against Henderson very often. In fact, I defend him from that sidewards, backwards kind of slang that goes his way. But today, he was terrible. And how he was still out there for the second half, I don't know. I would have whipped him off before half-time, because sometimes, you know, it just isn't a player's day. And I know that he was under the weather a little bit. I think Klopp said he had a flu or a cold or something like that. And I don't know if that played a part in it. But I would be doing you an injustice if I didn't say he was terrible today. So Henderson, 3 for Jordan Henderson. Sorry, Hendo, but you were terrible. Harvey Elliott. Again, it wasn't a great game from Harvey, but first and foremost, I want to wish him well, because trying to read his body language as he went off there, he didn't look happy. You fear that maybe Harvey might be out for a little bit, and I know I'm not here to second guess the extent of an injury, but reading the player's body language, he didn't look too happy or optimistic. So not going to go in on him when he's out with an injury, but it wasn't a great performance from Harvey today, so going to give Harvey a 5. Moving on to this gentleman, and I thought he had a good game overall, but there were moments. But you know what I did love about him? His tenacity today, putting himself in the way. He got fouled on 4 or 5 occasions that I can think of by just making sure he got there ahead of the Leicester City player. Whether it be just a little foot in, whether he was always mopping up at the back, and then he was looking to create moving forward. Now, in the offensive part today, I felt a couple of passes were incorrect, a couple of wrong decisions, and a couple under hit. But that being said, of our midfield operators today, he was certainly head and shoulders above the others. So I'm going to give Thiago a 7. Now we move on to Mohamed Salah. Difficult one to gauge here for Mo, because we judge Mo at the highest standards, because Mo is a superstar. And he should have at least tested Danny Ward when he was played through onto his right foot that time, and he dragged that wide. Then there was the other opportunity that he was provided after, let's be honest, a terrible pass from Darwin, just about made his way to, I'm not sure who it was that played it back into Salah. Salah took a touch, turned, hit it, and then Danny Ward saved it. But again, Salah would have feel like he should have scored today. Heck, we thought he did score in the first half, but the flag did correctly go up for offside. So, you know what? I'm not going to be harsh on Mo today, because I mentioned it during my match commentary, and I'm going to mention it again now. I don't think he gets enough credit for his defensive work. Look at the game back. He constantly tracked back to help out Trent. And for that reason, I'm going to stick with a decent score for Mo, and I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Darwin Nunez. For me, and again, I know you're all waiting for me to slag him off. I know you're all waiting out there to say how terrible he was. Sorry, I didn't see it. I seen a Darwin Nunez that was probably the most impactful player from an attacking sense out there for us. And yes, he needs to be more composed in certain moments. But you're talking about a 2 centimetre difference between the Leicester City OG being a Darwin goal and a Darwin goal. So for me, he did what he could do there, lifted it over Danny Ward, and he was just a little unlucky. The second chance in the second half, he did lack composure in, and he should have been hitting the target. But you know what? He's going to explode onto the scene and bang goals in numbers, and he's going to do them in bunches, I think. And I am not here to knock a player that I think is working his backside off. He is constantly moving, constantly running the hard yards. So you know what? I'm going to say screw the haters today, and I'm going to give Darwin Nunez a nice solid 7. Moving on to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I thought he deserved to keep his place after his performance against Aston Villa on the left side of attack, but today he didn't follow that up. He was a nothing performance from Chamberlain today, I'm afraid. And like Jordan Henderson, I feel like I can't not be honest. I really like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as a guy, and I will thank him for his time when he leaves the club at the end of the season, but today he was almost invisible at times, and we need better. And thankfully we do have better sitting up in the stands in Cody Gakpo. But that being said, he tries, Alex. That's all I can say today. That's the only redeeming point of it. So I'm going to give Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain 4 for today's performance. And if people feel that's harsh, I apologise, but I'm being honest. I thought he was terrible, and along with Henderson, I don't know how he even made it out of the dressing room at half time. Now we move on to Kostas Tsimikas, who I actually thought looked really good when he came on. He's so much more direct than Andy Robertson. Now, I'm not saying he's better or he's worse. I'm just saying he's more direct, and I personally like that trait. He's a great delivery with that left boot of his, and he's always looking to attack. He's always looking to get forward. And if I was to have a small critique of Robbo, it's the checking inside thing. Now, I'm sure he's doing it under instruction from Klopp, because if he tries to go around the outside, loses the ball, we're countered. So I'm sure that checking inside is the safety first aspect, but there are times I wish he would have a go and run at the fullback, even if just to switch it up and to give us a different angle to get crosses in from. But Kostas, you know what? Good performance from him when he came on. I'm going to stick with a 6 for Kostas. Moving on to Naby Keita. You know what? Damn that Naby Keita. He's doing it again. He's only making me see again what he can bring to a game of football. And it's just a shame that he's had such an injury-prone time at the club, because I still think we can't give him a new deal. But in the last 2 games when he's come on, I think he has made an impact. And he does ooze class when he's out there. You can see it in him. So I'm going to give Naby a 7 for his little cameo. But I do stand over what I said. I don't think we can risk another 4-year deal for Mr. Keita. That brings us to Joe Gomez, who came on to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold late in the game. And look, he didn't really have much time on the pitch to do that, and he did play the ball straight out of play for a throw-in at one point. That's the only real memory I have of Joe Gomez's contribution to the game after he came on. And I'm worried about Joe, folks. I am. He signed a new contract at the club, and already I'm seeing him as definitely our 4th choice centre-back, and I'm considering like if we need to bring in another one in the summer. So I'm worried about Joe Gomez, but look, I can't judge him on a couple of minutes. I'll just give him a 6 and we'll move on from that. And then that leaves us with Stefan Bajcetic, who I'm sure you're all as happy and excited to see this kid play as I am. I loved 2 things about his little cameo today. One, he went in with a tasty little challenge on one of the Leicester players just to let him know he was there. And 2, his awareness when Leicester got a free kick. Some other Liverpool players were jogging away. He was aware enough to stand over the ball to make sure Leicester City couldn't take it quickly and we couldn't be countered. And I can see why Klopp believes in this kid. He looks like a real talent, and I can't wait to see his time develop. So just for the little bit of a sniginess in the tackle and the awareness, I'm going to give Stefan a 7. And that's it. That brings us to the end of our player ratings today. And I agree with Sky with regards to man of the match. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold deserves that award. And that is it. That is our last player ratings of 2022, my friends. So I do appreciate all of your support here on the channel. If you haven't already, please do drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We will catch up with you soon, my friends. The games are coming thick and fast. The Reds are back in action in a mere 3 days. And I will see you then. Much love. Bye-bye.